Hello and welcome to this short webinar about creating accessible hyperlinks in Moodle ISU. My name is Sasha Johnson, and with me today are Mark Cooper, Kimberly Tompkinson, and Alicia Ward. And today our presentation is going to be about 20 minutes with a question and answer session at the end. So what's the big deal? Why are accessible hyperlinks important? First, I would say it's the right thing to do for all learners. Not only that, but it is also necessary for compliance with ISU's new Electronic and Information Technology Accessibility Policy, which can be found on ISU's Disability Services webpage. I will also paste that link in our chat in case anyone wants to refer to it. So accessible hyperlinks can help create inclusive environments for all of our learners and to help them feel valued. When we create those accessible hyperlinks, we're reducing barriers to access for all of our learners so they can interact with our course content. Because when we format links in an accessible way, we also make it so that assistive technologies can properly communicate the information to any learners who may be using those assistive devices to access course content. So accessible hyperlinks are one aspect that can increase course accessibility, and the more accessible a course is overall, the less we're going to have requests for student accommodations. So next, Alicia is going to cover some best practices for creating accessible hyperlinks in Moodle ISU.
All right. So using best practices to correctly format hyperlinks in your course is an important step for maximizing the accessibility of your course and ensuring that you have an inclusive learning environment for all of your students. So when you're creating your hyperlinks, there's a few little things that you want to be aware of so that you can avoid them or put them into practice. One of the things to avoid is using the long URL text. Doing this creates a poor experience for users, especially those who use assistive technology, because that reads the text aloud as it's written. This makes it long and difficult to understand, and it doesn't provide any context for where the link's going to take them. Similarly, you also want to avoid using vague descriptions such as click here or use this link, because those also don't give any context for what the link's opening. Instead, you'll want to use descriptive titles, which act as the text that will be linked, and it should describe the purpose or destination of that link. As you can see in these images, the title Instructional Technology Resource Center is the hyperlink versus just copying and pasting the original URL into the course. Using this descriptive name gives the users context for what the resource or web page link is going to open. You'll also want to make sure that all the links are working properly. Broken links or links that don't direct to the intended destination can create a lot of confusion and frustration for your learners. And obviously we want to avoid that as much as possible. And then finally, it's typically a good practice to indicate when a link is going to forcibly open in a new window. This can be done easily by just noting in parentheses next to the link that it's going to open in a new window. Our Moodle ISU has another built-in feature through the Accessibility Plus Toolkit, which can help with this, and Kim will talk a little bit more about that next.
Now let's talk about how to create accessible hyperlinks in Moodle ISU. First, locate the Moodle ISU Auto Editor in the activity or resource you're using. Note that inside any activity or resource in Moodle ISU where you find the Auto Editor, it can be used to add hyperlinks to external resources. Then in the Auto Editor text field, enter the descriptive text you will use to connect your link to. This text should describe the purpose or destination of the link. So by reading the text, a learner will know what to expect when selecting the link. Then copy the link from the external resource you want to use. Typically, you will have a browser window open where the resource you want to link to is located. So you would navigate to that window and copy the URL. Then, back in the Auto Editor text field, select the text you want to link to. Next, select the link button in the first row of the Auto Editor. Then, the Create Link window will open. You will paste the link you copied into the Enter a URL text field. Note that if you check the box Open in a new window, a pop-up will appear when users select the link, allowing them to choose to open the link in a new window or in the existing window. If the box is left unchecked, the link will open in the same window, unless the user has his or her browser set to open links in a new window or tab. Then select the Create Link button. Note that the text you have added to the link will now be an active link as indicated by the orange text color. Then select Save and Return to Course, or Save and Display when you're finished editing.
If you want to learn more, there are a variety of ways that you can do that. There's a QR code on your screen right now for the mobile users. If you want to scan that, that'll take you right to a page that will direct you to these tools that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to paste it in the chat, and you can also access it that way. So a number of ways that you can access it, beginning with the Tiger Tracks articles. We have a library of how-to guides at your fingertips that you can access to learn how to do some of these activities that we're talking about on the webinar today, as well as many others. In addition to that, we have a video library that has short videos that walk you through various processes for accessibility. Watch out for future webinars. We post these announcements in the Idaho State Today, and you can also check on the ISU events calendar. For more in-depth training, we're going to be offering 2 sessions in March, one on March 9th and one on March 11th on the Accessibility Toolkit application. And in our next webinar, please join us next Wednesday, February the 23rd, where we will be talking about formatting text in Moodle so that it is accessible for your users. And we'd like to thank you for attending today, and enjoy the rest of your day.